Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to be going over a relatively recent trick that is being used in Tears of the Kingdom speedruns, specifically on the Great Sky Island. This trick has completely obsoleted certain other tricks that we would do in favor of using wings to slide around certain segments much faster than the other methods. This is the wing slide. The main parts we're going to be using the wing slide are from Temple of Time to the Ascend Shrine, from the Fuse Shrine to the Ultra Hand Shrine, inside the Ultra Hand Shrine, and finally, there is another place you can use it that I'll mention near the end of the video. So with the wing slide, the shrine order of the speedrun has not changed, but the method in which we arrive to some of them has. Naturally, we want to start with Ascend as it is the vertically highest shrine and bombs are nearby. So in order to do this before, we would do wing flip. Doing wing flip allowed us to get the pad, touch the Temple of Time without touching the ground, so that when we void out, Link is spawned back at the last place he touched the ground, where, in this case, would be before the cinematic title card scene. This was very important to be able to get to the Ascend Shrine early with a precise, and scary, fall damage cancel off the shrine. If you have speedrun Tears of the Kingdoms before, you know that wing flip is a very hard trick, and this is where a lot of runs would go to die. Where if you go too low, you get the autosave and your run is dead. If you go too high, you risk sailing over Stuart and your run is dead. Or even if you get a great wing flip and you land in front of Stuart properly and all is great, you can still have your run die due to Stuart repositioning your wing, touching the ground, thus getting the autosave. Wing flip is still used in the run for time save, but we no longer need to worry about any of this. This has made wing flip drastically easier to do since wing flip was considered to be one of the harder tricks in the run. Additionally, the floor's lava section by Temple of Time is also not needed since we are sliding straight from Temple of Time to the Ascend Shrine from the ground. One quick mention. This is a wing slide tutorial, not a wing flip tutorial, not an overload juggle tutorial, not a speedrun explained. This is just teaching you how to do wing slides. If you need help with any other glitches or tricks, the Tears of the Kingdom Discord is a great place to ask for help. Or who knows, I may even end up doing more tutorials in the future if this one does really well. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into the tutorial on how to do a wing slide and where to set them up. Let's do it. So, the first wing slide we're going to be doing in this run is from Temple of Time to the Ascend Shrine. At this point in the run, we have overload and we're setting up our engine to be the old wooden bow. We're going to get our old wooden bow from this construct here and go to the Ascend Shrine just straight from here. I'm going to allow this wing slide to be shown in its entirety just so you can see it. So, this is how we're going to be setting up our first wing slide. We're going to come over here and kill this construct. We're going to jump and pick up the bow. From this menu, we're going to open our inventory, unequip the bow, and re-equip the bow. Unpause. Now we have overload dropped a bow. We're going to spam A to pick up the second bow. Again, we're going to jump and open the menu. Equip, equip. Unpause, pause. Drop, equip. Unpause, pause, drop. Now we have two bows on the ground. The bow that we want is the one that was initially behind Link. That is the bow that is going to go under our feet and set up our arrow smuggle. Not the bow that's in front of us. That bow does nothing for us. It's usually the bow that gets put behind us. We're going to pick this one up and now we have our arrow smuggle engine. One thing I want to mention is the way that I kill this construct and set up my arrow smuggle is kind of towards this hill, and that's because the construct can sometimes die and spawn like a horn or a charge or a bundle of 5 arrows, and if any of these things get in the way of our wing slide placement, our wing slide could have a failure to launch So we kind of just want to keep the path of where we place our wing completely clear. I usually do my overload drop while moving, but if you do it while standing still, no problem. The menuing is all the same. It's just the bow that we're going to be picking up after the menuing is going to be right under Link's feet. Not the one that is kind of beside him like that. That's the one that we don't want. Usually the bow, if you're just standing still, will just spawn directly under Link's feet, ready to grab. So, setting up our first wing slide, we're going to head over to this stone over here that was behind the construct that we killed. We're going to put Link's back towards it and aim towards the shrine. We're going to place our wing. We're going to hold ZL the whole time. Double slash, then do a forward hop while holding ZL, and that will make our wing start going up. I'm just going to show you one more angle here so you can see exactly what's happening. And while we're here, I'm now going to show you how to direct and move on the wing for this wing slide. So think of it as if there's a steering stick at the back of the wing. If you pull the stick to the right, it's going to go left. If you pull it to the left, it's going to go right. So when Link moves left on the wing, it goes right. This is how you're going to be steering your wing during the wing slide. Notice how I'm staying in the middle of the wing, this little middle circle that's in the middle of the wing here. I am never leaving this circle. This is going to keep my wing from acting all erratic and sporadic and give me control. Because if you end up having your angle too high like this, the wing slide's going to die, Link is going to fall off, and, well, that's no good. Alright, now that we know how to mount the wing, I'm going to show you exactly where to place your wing so you have good terrain every single time when you do this wing slide. When you go to this slab, if you go to the right of the middle of the slab here while looking at it and place your wing, you're going to have bad terrain, and look at this, your wing is not going to go anywhere. But when you set up your wing to where you are at the left or in the middle of this slab, while looking at it like this, you're going to have good terrain. This is very important for if you want to get this thing first try. Alright, now I'm going to show you what it looks like to have a failed wing slide. So when you're going to mount your wing, after you get on it, you want to make sure you get to the front of the middle of this wing kind of as soon as possible. Like, not quite sprinting speed, but like, you know, ZL walking speed to the front of the middle. Because if you end up going too slow and you don't get up fast enough, your wing is going to end up at too high of an angle, your wing slide is going to die, and it's not going to work. And here's an example of that happening. So it's very important that when you do your jump, you kind of get to the front of the middle of the wing at a reasonable time before your wing gets too high of an angle. Similarly, if you go too fast on the wing, you are also going to have a failed wing slide, as you're going to hit some terrain and your wing will not get the height required to be able to get over all the stuff that you need to get over to get to the Ascend Shrine. So as you see here, I have overshot the middle of the wing and my wing had a failure to launch. So it is very important that do not go too fast, but you also can't go too slow. It's just kind of a feel thing that you're going to end up getting. Now, let's say you have failed your wing placement and you put it on bad terrain. Well, in spots where Link can normally just walk on the wing, these types of scenarios you actually can save and get a wing slide. By holding ZL and looking in a 90-degree angle, you can slowly walk up on the wing sideways like this, and with some precision, you can end up getting a wing slide no problem. I don't usually like this method too much, but I figured I would show it just in case you end up in this kind of scenario. Alright, next up is what to do if you have failed your wing slide. Say your wing slide died really early on and your wing ended up kind of around here and you still want to continue your run. Well, there is a spot that I like to use for a backup. So if I come over here towards the stairs, there's these two trees that I try to look for, and this is where I'm going to set up my backup. I put Link on this kind of like white area here right in front of this little tree, and this will get me good terrain. So I put Link on this kind of white patch area, look at the shrine, place my wing, and then do my wing slide as normal. You may notice that I am looking up when doing my wing slides. This is to prevent world loads and textures from loading underneath me, which could cause lag. A way that a wing slide can die is if you get like a random lag spike. So I look up to try to prevent this. You don't need to look up, but it's just a good practice to get into. Alright, now we're going to show how to dismount the wing when it's getting to the shrine. What I like to do is when I am approaching the shrine, I like to set it up so that I'm aiming right at the shrine with the nose of the wing, and when the nose gets just over the snowy section, I just go full on to the left of the wing and just fall off. I'm not jumping, I'm not doing anything like that, I'm literally just falling off. Another method you could do is to jump off the wing, so I'll show that here now. When going up to the shrine, if you just jump off regularly, the wing has a chance to hit you in the back. So if we want to avoid this, we're going to go kind of towards the nose of the wing with Link and then jump off from there. That will make it so that the wing lands into the terrain and you can jump off the wing safely without worried about the wing hitting you. Alright, I think that just about does it for the wing slide from Temple of Time to Ascend. Let's get into the next wing slide, which is from Fuse to Ultra Hand. Alright, we are now at the Fuse Shrine and getting ready to go towards the Ultra Hand Shrine. After Fuse, we typically have 4 shields in our inventory. We have 2 with bombs on them and 2 without. This is going to be important because the wing slide we're going to do here, the engine is going to be with shields instead of the wooden bow. And I will show you exactly how to do that right now. So, we're going to jump, open the inventory, and equip a shield that has a bomb on it. Unpause, pause. Drop that shield, equip another shield, and unequip that shield. Unpause. We have now set up our smuggle to be the bomb flower shield. And now we can start working on getting our wing placement. For this one, we don't want to have our wing too far to the right, as it's possible that we could hit all this stuff that's over here, and that could ruin our wing slide. What we're going to do is just go slightly more to the left and aim towards the shrine and place our wing. So, with the way we're going to mount this wing is different though than the wooden bow. The properties are different, so the mounting method is different. Instead of that 2 slashes and hop like before, we're going to do a jog, a step up animation, and then hold ZL and go to the front middle of the wing. You'll notice I'm doing some micro adjustments, losing height, gaining height. I'm basically trying to get the wing to be the height of the Ultra Hand Shrine. And once I've reached that height, I go towards the more front of the wing to stop gaining height. This is just making it easier for me to get off the wing and not take any fall damage. Alright, here it is again, this time in slow motion. Place our wing, hold forward, and as soon as Link gets up onto the wing with that animation of stepping up, we're going to hold ZL and go to the front middle of the wing. Making sure we do a couple of micro adjustments to make sure we're not gaining too much height or losing too much height. Just so you can see what I mean by the mounting method being different, I'm going to do the mounting method as if I had the bow, and it's not going to work the same. Alright, here's one more time, just so you can really see the step-up animation that you're looking for when mounting this wing. Alright, next we're going to do the backup. So let's say your wing slide has failed, and you want to continue your run. So we need to do a backup. Well, a good backup spot is just right under the Fuse Shrine. really close. So there will usually be a chew that spawns here. You won't need to kill the chew in your run, but I did here just for demonstration purposes. Basically, all of this is like really good terrain and really nice for wing slides. You can literally just kind of place a wing anywhere as long as, you know, the wings aren't going to get hit by some stone archway or whatever, and you can just do one from there really easily. It really does not take much to get a fused wing slide to get going. So here during this slide, you'll see I've gone way too high. I'm just going to show that, you know, going too high is really not that big of a deal because we have arrow smuggle flight, so we can just do a fall damage cancel anyway. If we end up getting too high, it's really no big deal. Alright, that about covers fuse to ultra hand. Let's now get into the ultra hand shrine and show how to do that one. Alright, here we are in front of the Ultra Hand Shrine, and we want to now set up to do a wing slide inside of this shrine. So, what we're going to want to do is reuse this drop smuggle from the Bomb Flower Shield. How to do that is, we're going to navigate to our shield menu, and since we just came from the Fuse Shrine, we should have 2 shields without bombs and 2 shields with bombs. What we're going to do is equip a non-bomb shield, unpause, pause. Drop that shield. In this same menuing, we're going to tab over to the Zonai devices and set up our Zonai storage. With that all done, we can enter the shrine. Once we've entered the shrine, you're going to notice that the collision of our drop smuggle is actually going to be stuck at the beginning of the shrine. In order to do our wing slide, we need to regain our collision. So we have to get this collision unstuck, which we're going to do over here. First, we're going to set up our wing by simply just opening the menu, and the first thing that's going to happen is dropping the wing. Once we unpause here, the wing will spawn, and we can now set up our collision to be unstuck from the beginning of the shrine. So how we're going to do that is we're going to pause, tab over to the shields menu, and equip a non-bomb shield. We're then going to unpause, pause, and drop that shield. We have now regained our collision. So with the wing slide inside this shrine, we're basically just using this slide to go forward and gain some speed. So it's not too important how we mount or how we get onto this wing. It's more so the length of time we're on the wing. So we're just going to mount it, kind of slowly walk up forward, get some speed, and then sprint jump off. And you see, we use that speed from the wing slide to carry ourselves all the way through the shrine. At the end here, or even before we get to the end, we're going to press A to pick up the shield and duplicate it. So now you'll see we have 3 shields, when before we only had 2 because we dropped that, it was 2 shields. Once we leave the shrine, you will see that the shield wasn't on Link's back in the overworld in the shrine, but once we leave, here it is on Link's back, ready for us to use. One more time here, you see the collision is stuck. The shields here are different, but it's fine. It all works the same. We're going to open our menu, then tab over to our shields, equip a shield, and drop it. And now we've regained our collision, and slowly get onto this wing, sprint jump off for maximum speed, AF all the way over to the end of the shrine, pick up the shield to duplicate it and get it on Link's back once we leave this shrine, and that's the Ultra Hand Shrine done. Lastly, I just want to go over one more spot. You could use a wing slide in the 80% category. This is kind of mainly used in other categories, and I don't really think this saves time. It might just be on par with what we used to do. But here, we're going to get our shield smuggle set up, and we can do a wing slide from the end of Ultra Hand to Temple of Time by going over here, placing our wing, and doing a fuse shield wing slide to Temple of Time. That about does it for the wing slides that we are currently using on the Great Scott Island for the 80% category. I'm sure in the future we may find better ways to set up these slides or find different spots to use them or add more slides into the run in the future. But this video serves to teach you how to do them in the first place and spots to use them in your speedruns. For right now, this is what the Great Scott Island looks like when using wing slides to its fullest potential. I hope you were able to follow along, and I hope I was able to explain everything properly to where it was easily understandable. This is my very first tutorial, so I am definitely new to this, and I'm sure there are things I've forgotten or explained a bit less than perfectly. I hope regardless of this, you enjoyed the tutorial and maybe consider liking the video and commenting if you want to see more tutorials like this, maybe for other glitches and tricks for Tears of the Kingdom. Lastly, I just want to shout out Argyle for rediscovering wing slides to be usable on the Great Scott Island. With him, wing slides and a whole host of other glitches may never even have been found. To Kinsomnia every day for showing us the double slash method of mounting the wing with the wooden bow. And to all my viewers who watch me speedrun this game. I stream all my speedrun attempts live 4 to 5 times a week on Twitch and right here on YouTube. I will leave a link to my Twitch in the description. Hopefully you check me out there and consider giving me a follow. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.